honest, diversity and inclusion, I think it's really broad at the moment. I think people have their own interpretations of what that could potentially mean. And I know the CEO of Facebook says something quite powerful, which was diversity is what you see and inclusion is what you feel, which to me, I would attach belonging to that as well. But I think it's more a sense of belonging for me, because diversity can just be, okay, I've got a few people over there, a couple of brown people, LGBTQ, and just ticking that tokenistic box. And inclusion can be quite ambiguous. What does inclusion mean to me as an individual? So if my organization is saying, yep, we're really inclusive, but do you know what everybody in your organization sees that? So an organization would really have to be explicit with, this is what we see as inclusion, and then censor check that, is that how your organization feels? So I think it is important, because you need all the voices in the room, especially if you've got senior leadership teams which are making decisions around people who are not actually in that room. So, and then when you have different varieties of voices, that's where the magic happens. You've got more creativity. So diversity and inclusion, in answer to your question, that's what it means to me. But I'm more into belonging, equity and equality, to be honest, because I think that's more humane for me. The lack of goes back to what I was just saying. If you have, say, all men or women or just one particular group, then you've got your infinity bias. And infinity bias is that you're gravitating more to people that look like you because you're comfortable. And it's not to say that it's wrong to gravitate to people that look or speak like you. I mean, if I go on holiday and I hear an English accent, I'm like, oh my God, where are you from? Which part of London? I'm very London-centric, by the way, which is not good, but I know. So, you may gravitate to somebody who maybe likes the same music or the same food. I get that. But from an organizational perspective, it's important that you are aware of that infinity bias. Because if you are, again, making decisions, even if it's just around content or around marketing, how do you know if you're doing it right if everybody look and sounds and speaks and is educated like you? Because that's not the world. And you're not going to be have that competitive edge with your competitors. I'm sure everybody's in business to make a profit. Even the third sector, we do have to make sure that we've got money coming in so we can pay the people who's doing the work. So, I mean, maybe not everybody wants a profit, but I'm sure everybody wants a level playing field and would prefer that people have a voice, and that should be different voices. So to me, that can be the negative effect if you're not going to be able to listen to other people, because you can then seem geriatric, you could then seem quite old-fashioned. And I don't even know if this is inclusive language anymore, because I'm learning so much about what you can and cannot say. And these are the reasons why you want to be inclusive. So you do have people who can correct and educate and ensure that that's landing properly with your organization and the outside world, really. Listen to your staff. And communicate. I know you said one, but communication's key. Listen to what they're saying. It's easy to say, yes, we're doing this and we want to hear your voices, and then you don't do anything with that. So transparency, communication, listening. I know we've gone past one, but I think listen would be my first one. Listen to, because if you're saying you want to be inclusive, you want to hear from people with those lived experiences, with those people that can educate past your academia, past being academic. Yes, I've gone to uni. Yes, I've got my PhD. Nothing wrong with any of those, not a criticism. However, you can't discount lived experiences. So it's about listening and then actionable impact after listening. So it's important to listen. That's my top tip: listen and act. Yeah, I think, again, having those listening skills and being objective. And I think it begins with self. Understanding that if you're in this space and you're saying, yes, I want to be more inclusive, that starts with you. Because sometimes as organizations, we say, let's be more inclusive, let's be more diverse, and everything's put onto the organization, which I think is easy to hide behind the word organization, because then people can hide behind that. But to be an inclusive leader, I think it's really important to know your own self and what are your boundaries and what are your vulnerabilities and what are your, can I push through this? Do I even understand it myself? Because then how do you lead a team if you haven't even come to terms with what your own bias potentially could be? So coaching, I mean, I'm a massive fan of coaching. I'm a coach myself. And I think if you're not sure, get a coach. Be coached through that, and then you can then lead your team. Representation matters. And I can't drill that home enough. If you look at a job description, say, and you look at it, or you look at the website and it seems to be all, say, white men, or all middle-aged men, or all younger men, or all women, again, you're going back to your bias. You're going back to everybody looks and feels that way. You're cutting out talent. It's not a matter of just going for the high-end universities. It's about going for people. And if you're in an organization where there's people, not robots, I know AI is very big at the minute, but if you're looking at saying we want people, then you want everybody's voices, because the world is multicultural with so much different amazing elements. It's like an amazing restaurant that just has everything in it. So it's so important that you have that wealth and that ingredients of everyone, because again, then you're going to be to me, you're going to be a better person, because it's cultures. That's why we go on holiday. We're not just going on holiday because, oh, let's just get up and jump on a plane. You want to experience different cultures, different foods, different languages. Bring that energy back into your organization and lead with that. So that's what I would say.